cannibalistic cryptid, or monstrous mammalian mimic. In this episode of the Erich Andreas Unexplained, we present to you the wiles of the Wendigo. Thoughts on the Wendigo, Ray? What do you think?
What? I don't know anything about Wendigo. How the hell would I know?
Nothing really? Nothing?
Hey, Andreas, you're looking pretty rough lately. Maybe you should go on one of those First Nation tribal holidays and you can get some rest.
I am pretty exhausted, actually.
Yeah, Mugwa, you should get some rest, all right? And leave everything up to me, Ray Casper.
No.
Hey, Andreas, I'll tell you what. I'll give you 3 bulls for a feast, and I'll sing the war song with you at the Great Council Fire.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
What?
Huh?
Huh? $1785. Where were you? Where were you? Where were you? I was on a Java jungle expedition, desperately retreating from a hairy-backed bulbul. Barely survived.
I was wishing I'd been born Wolverine.
There you are. How about you? 1785.
Spa day.
You were what?
Spa day.
Spa day.
Spa day.
A spa day.
Spa day?
Yeah.
Spa day.
You go and get taken care of.
I like it.
Oh, a spa day.
Yeah, a
Oh, I
spa
thought
day.
you were using some Javian slang or Indonesian slang I didn't know about.
Spa day, spa day.
Spa day. Is that a Indonesian slang?
Sure.
I shouldn't talk about Java or Indonesian slang. Ray Casper will accuse me from being from there.
He thinks you're from there anyway.
Exactly. So, unverified lore Wendigo today. 1785. When I say unverified, this was a Reddit post, and I saw a subreddit and a subreddit upon a subreddit, whatever Reddit is, speaking about this New Brunswick, a war party of Mi'kmaq, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, warriors were decimated and dispatched by a single Wendigo. It had said that, it was said that the Wendigo mimicked the voice of one of the First Nations great chiefs' wives. And I would only assume it mimicked the voice by nagging. But it lured them in to this waterfall where they were just decimated one by one by the ravenous cannibalistic Wendigo. And these First Nation people that first described the Wendigo and the encounters, it seemed that a lot of them were not even spared. It might have also been, the theory was advanced that if you were up to some sinister deeds within the tribe, or you had killed one of your fellow brothers, or practiced cannibalism, that you were doomed to live out the rest of your days as a Wendigo. And its hunger for human meat can never be satiated, as reported, and its ferocity unmatched. And which sounds like a girl I dated in Philadelphia. I haven't done the Philadelphia bit in a long time, so yeah, Philadelphia. So, and it is said that to never be satiated or satisfied is the curse of the Wendigo. So, Wendigo, what do we think, Grimmhauser?
So I'm thinking, if we're talking about First Nation times, this is just a guy who didn't have a taste for deer and such. He was just like, I prefer the long pig and that's what I'm gonna do, That said, if it goes beyond being just some hungry dude, well, stick with the man witch. Come on, dude.
The man witch.
The man witch.
The man witch.
The man witch.
What's the man witch?
You never had a man witch? So there was a time.
Sounds like a sandwich.
It is.
Oh.
There was a time when there was a very interesting thing called a manwich. You could get it canned. It's like a pre-processed meat. Put it in a bun, manwich.
Retro commercial coming up on the manwich.
My manwich.
There we are. So what says you? Thoughts on this? Wendigo.
I think it's just made up folklore to scare people into some kind of submission.
Like into not eating each other? Because I can get behind that. I'm
Yes.
just saying.
Well, Madeleine is from, is it North Dakota?
South Dakota.
South Dakota. And there was that great controversy a few years back about the Black Hills, which was, is that North Dakota or South Dakota? I'm
Black
not
Hills
sure.
is South
But
Dakota.
please, where the indigenous peoples were fighting over possession of that territory. So it's very interesting. Anything to do with, I thought you knew about that stuff. You know, you're kind of into it a little bit, you know?
I mean, you hold on to what you can.
Yeah.
It comes up every so many years where someone believes that the land should be given back to the native tribes.
Fair.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's a old Australian quote that was regurgitated on the first Crocodile Dundee, and I love this quote that the Paul Hogan, the late Paul Hogan, very sad. I loved Paul Hogan. I love that man.
He was a
I
man's
loved,
man.
Oh, he was indeed. He says something to the effect of, in the first Crocodile Dundee, that the land doesn't belong to the Aborigines. Is something to the effect, and I don't want to screw it up, but it's like a bunch of fleas. Like a bunch of fleas arguing over the dog that they live on. In other words, this planet is alive, and the little petty squabbles that certain humanoid sects have with each other is just preposterous, and it really, really is. And if we want to get back to who owned this, who owned that, how far do you want to go back to the Bering land bridge, you know? And the thing about it is, though, however, I have nothing but the utmost admiration for First Nations people and their warrior instinct. I really love it. I made some enemies with that, but I really love the indigenous warrior instinct and the things that they would do to their adversaries because it was necessary. But that's a different story. But yeah.
You know, I mean, it's called a deterrent for a reason, a scare tactic for a
Exactly.
reason.
Exactly.
Obviously, you're gonna think twice if you see like I don't know, skulls and bones everywhere. You're gonna think twice about going to that place and mess with those people.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
You know?
And the trespassing on burial grounds, sacred burial grounds.
Oh no.
And it's just not indigenous burial grounds. Burial grounds of any single sect is just.
Let's be clear on that. Do not build your house on a sacred burial ground, and do not bury your pets in a sacred burial
Yeah,
ground.
if you know something is sacred burial ground, you do not trespass on that for any reason. I don't care whether it's profit or convenience. You do not trespass on ancient burial grounds. That's like the epitome of vulgarity, in my opinion.
Exactly.
What says you, Madeleine?
I'd go for a pet cemetery.
Fair. Fair.
But would you trespass on burial grounds?
No, it's just like going into like graveyards.
Oh yeah,
They're creepy, especially at night.
I remember
Good call.
back in this might have been early '90s, going into a graveyard and half in the bag, half in the Ray Casper, with a couple of broads, thinking I'm going to get cute, and I'm glad that fell through. But anyway, I'm glad that the sheriff showed up and scared us off. But
It's for the best.
Yeah. Anyway, so it is believed that a human being can transform into a Wendigo, and it's like I said, a curse that's stricken on those who committed heinous deeds, like not subscribing. Who is not subscribed? Are you watching this not subscribing?
Who doesn't subscribe?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I think trespassers into burial grounds.
Or people who don't bring a bigger knife.
Exactly. Who do you think doesn't subscribe? Besides, even though now you're a part of the show, you don't even subscribe.
I'm pretty sure I subscribe.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
so when you send those middle fingers in the middle of the night, those emoji middle fingers, what does that mean?
I figured that was standard.
It is standard. Now, Natasha L has that down.
Yeah, but that's pretty much her response to everything.
Yeah, she secretly hates us, but that's the best thing.
She's not the one.
Exactly.
There it is.
So it is obviously believed that acts of cannibalism and or times of great famine will have something to do this transformation into a Wendigo. And let's not confuse the Wendigo with the skinwalker. And next week, with the approval of our phenomenal guests here, or cast, or co-hosts rather, not guests. Skinwalkers, yes, the Skinwalker episode, which I find actually even more confounding than Wendigos because of its extraterrestrial association, hopefully. But also the Wendigo is said to be able to mentally stalk their prey and interlope into their most deepest thoughts and their dreams, leading to everything from sleeplessness, where they've infiltrated your personal thoughts and your dreams, and you're unable to sleep.
What?
And you're riddled with this burning sensation, which after that girl I knew in Philadelphia, I had a burning sensation for about 2 months, and I found an ointment, but it never cleared up.
You know, Wendigo, that's cheating. Let me just say that. That is cheating. Do not invade people's dreams, and don't give them STDs either. Hunt them like it was intended, just straightforward, go for it. Come on.
Exactly, and that's the thing about it is that I called it for years the Philadelphia fever from her, and it was actually in Native American lore, it's called the Wendigo fever, and or Wendigo possession, perhaps. But the appearance of the Wendigo, this is something, because from what I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this in the comments, or is that the original Wendigo had a specific appearance, and it was a gaunt, frail, grayish, bald creature. And then it seems that it had transformed in the era of the moving pictures to be a horned, antler-like sort of rabid stag sort of creature. And so, really smelly too. It smelled of decay and death.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and also reportedly had the ability to control the weather during its attack.
Okay, pick a lane, man. You're not don't go into X-Men territory, okay? Let's just pick a lane. Are you a hunter? Are you a dream invader? What's the deal, man? You're like Freddy Krueger. You're Storm from X-Men. What are you? Come on, man.
And if you're rocking with Dawkin and you're old enough to remember this, the Dream Warriors aren't going to dream no more. But
yes.
who amongst us is rocking with Dawkin? I'm not sure. However, does this classified as a true tale or a festering fable? What says you, Madeleine?
What do you think?
Festering fable, but it could be based on something that really happened.
What do you think?
Basically, an instance of cannibalism, and then this is how they explain it.
Okay, so they went Donner Party on each other, and then we go from there. Do you think it's like a guy was eating flesh, maybe it was like a disorder or something? Maybe he just liked eating human flesh, and of course, you don't look good after eating human flesh for so long. It doesn't look right. Or do you think it's something different?
Well, you have to be really desperate to eat another human.
That's fair.
However, there were a lot of, from what I understand, a lot of the Iroquois and the associated tribes, they would eat the hearts of the ones they vanquished in battle because they believed it gave them a superhuman strength of sort, or they were taking the souls. And I don't know about you, Caucasoids, I love that. Because not only just the fear that it would put in others that you were in battle against.
Yeah.
But just the it would be almost like you were shooting yourself up with some type of
like an adrenaline.
yeah,
Old
exactly,
adrenaline.
exactly. Whether it had an effect or not, but eating the hearts of your enemies, it sounds super cool to me. It
That
just really
speaks.
does.
That speaks to, I believe, if you'll forgive me, Madeleine. This speaks to men most of all. Sadly speaking, I mean we love those ideas. I like that idea too, but if it was up to me, I don't want to eat your heart. I think you're crap if I already killed you. So I'm probably gonna go for bears and such, because then it's like I'm eating bears' hearts and bears' souls. Bring it on after that, man. Let's see what you got.
There we are.
Let's eat something fucking top of the food chain, man.
Oh, there we go. So, Grimmhauser, true tale or festering fable?
Normally, I am completely skeptical, but this one, true tale. And let me just say, you think about a guy who thinks he's gonna get more powerful by eating other people. Mm-hmm. I can respect his logic there, even though I think probably that's not what ended up happening. Think of it this way: this man, he thinks he's a lion among men.
Yes.
And that's what, and if you want to quote, I believe it was Achilles, lions don't deal with men. We don't negotiate.
Oh,
Simple as that.
there we go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What says you?
Or probably just need some kind of multivitamin deficient.
Okay.
Some kind of.
This is equally possible. Equally possible, less romantic, but I'll take it.
Madeleine got off a little cutie.
I like it.
All right. So I would have to say that I am 50-50 on this, which will be different than my answer on the Skinwalker.
What?
But I am 50, and like I say, I've been saying lately, I so want to believe, I'm 50-50 on it, because the more that I actually really, really looked into this subject, I believe like something did happen to these, the people, but the whole transformation from human to another species or subspecies, we're digging into the paranormal, and once you open the door to the paranormal, nothing is really out of the realm. However, this is something where I'm very, very skeptical about a human transforming into a drastically different creature. However, that very well might not be the case. And yeah,
Well, if I might cut in for a second,
of course.
a man who gives in to the animal, that is what we're talking about. So, a man who gives into the animal no longer thinks like a person, no longer sentient. He gave into his instincts and decided, I'm just gonna eat what I feel like. That's what it comes down to. And in that way, the Wendigo is quite real. There are people who do that.
Oh, no, that's a very good way of putting that. Yeah. So I would say on this, for me, I am 60% true tale. There we are. Good.
It's funny. I wish you were as sure about getting Ray off this show, because that would really help me out.
Well, Ray Casper hasn't only afflicted himself upon you, but he will no doubt afflict himself upon you as well. And Madeleine, she knows a little bit about Ray Casper, and he sent a message how he, and I didn't even know about this, I wanted to bring it up on the show. He supposedly slid into your DMs, which is the funniest thing is, I don't even think he knows what that is.
But he figured it out?
Well, I think he thinks a DM is a text message or an email, but I'm not positive. But he doesn't have your mobile number. But either way. So let's get off of Ray Casper just for one moment there. Now it is time for the always esteemed filmologist Blake Grimmhauser's Grimmhauser's Movie Moments. What says you? Movie Moments.
So, Wendigo, there's a couple directions to go here, because firstly, there's a billion media where you could see such a thing, and at the same time, it's less popular than a lot of legends, really, a lot of lore. So let's start with, for example, Supernatural.
Yes, I watched those trailers.
Yes.
Yeah. The
So-
one, you sent me a specific one.
Yeah,
It was actually look pretty cool.
It's like the second episode or third episode. So the Winchesters, are you familiar with Supernatural?
Yes.
Oh, I love those guys. I'm sure you love them too. So Dean and Sam, they happen upon this hunting group, and they're trying to find out if there's a monster involved. They don't know what it is, And yeah, it turns out to be the titular Wendigo. But I'm not gonna spoil that. Supernatural is good on its own. Watch it for yourself, whether you're into the guys or you just like watching them kick ass. One or the other.
They're coming out with a 16th season.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
What?
What I noticed about that not the trailer, but the I watched little bits of episodes on the YouTube, and everyone was so good looking. It's kind of hard to believe, It almost has that kind of.
But that's the whole point, man.
Yeah.
The dudes have to be good looking, and the girls have to be good looking.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the point. What else
Yeah.
are you gonna watch?
Well, no, I get it. I understand all of that, but it's like, I feel a little intimidated.
I forget
It's
his
like-
name, but was the demon guy? I don't think he was hot though.
Oh,
I only watched little bits of it.
you're
Yeah.
talking about the guy who...
Oh, I'm blanking on his name though.
He was like the short guy that was in the suit, right? Like the balding dude?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, he becomes the new Devil Eater.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same. The guy who does the deals.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's ugly, but I wouldn't say he's hot.
He's not top tier man material. I agree. Who is, except for the Winchesters, but
Always on the prowl here.
you gotta keep your options open, all right? But the guy has money. You gotta give him that.
That's true.
Little
He
bit of
is
buns.
charming.
Yes. Yes. He is not Castiel, but he's got stuff going on.
I'm always on the out on some of these conversations because
And in the end, he sacrificed himself.
I didn't see that coming.
I don't know.
That was completely against his character, really. Fair. Supernatural is not for everyone, or you haven't seen it, but highly recommend, because the Winchester's adventures are pretty legit.
No, I would recommend it because I actually, like I said, I just watched little segments on YouTube, and it looked actually pretty good. It was one of those little 3 or 4 minute segments where I said, well, this doesn't look bad, yeah.
You might like it, you might not, but I mean, you get recaps to The Sound of Kansas? Come on. Carry on, my little son.
Really?
Yeah, every recap you get, every few episodes, I think. Or was it at the end of the season, do you remember? At least every few episodes, at the very least. You get a little recap of what the Winchesters been doing to the background of Carry On My Wayward Son. And then,
When did
it
this
works.
come out? How long?
It's always the
Like
song.
2010s? When it came out? Like 2010s?
Yeah.
Okay.
About that.
All right. Antlers. Who saw Antlers?
Okay, Antlers. So this is produced by Guillermo del Toro of Pan's Labyrinth fame.
Yes.
If you'll remember that.
Yes.
He has always had great creature design. It has always messed with my mind when he produces. That said, this movie starts off very cutely enough in a meth lab. Yeah, this guy Frank, he's running a meth lab. His son's out in the car. I think it's like Aiden or something, little kiddo. And, they come out like his dad and brother, I think, come out of the meth lab and they get attacked by this unseen creature. And then you flash forward to the oldest son, Lucas. And this kid is killing animals and stuff. We all know where that goes. But his teacher, I believe, is just like freaking out about this, understandably. I'd be a little bit worried about that too. And the story proceeds to Lucas getting bullied, and these guys are your typical bully story, but then you move on to see his mother, kind of worried about the bullying and such, but then also wondering where the smell is coming from. I think I believe it's their attic or something, right?
Oh, so that scene where the bully gets decimated by the Wendigo.
So fast forwarding, yes. The Wendigo. Who is the Wendigo? Who is doing this? Is there more than one? That's what the story really wants you to think about. we're not going to go past that because we're heading into spoiler waters.
Yes.
So the rest is up to you people. Go watch Antlers.
Did you see Antlers? Okay.
I recommend it if you like horror movies.
Yes, Carrie Russell's in that. Yeah.
Carrie Russell always does well.
Yeah. Yeah. She was good in the Mission Impossible movie. With,
You can't go wrong with Carrie Russell.
Yeah. No. Yeah. She's actually really, really good.
Was she in the first one?
No. I think she was in the third or the fourth.
It
Mission
is hard to keep
Impossible.
track after a certain point because I'm like,
And she dies.
yeah, how many impossible missions can you do, Tom Cruise? Come on, man.
So, also the Hannibal series with our Danish friend Mads. He that symbolism that was supposedly associated with
Wendigo, yeah.
with the Hannibal character with the cannibalism. You know what I'm talking
The
about?
antlers.
Yeah. Well, no, with Hannibal.
With Hannibal?
Yeah, Hannibal.
Children of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Silence of the
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Silence of the
yeah.
Lambs.
But
Yes.
like, I didn't see it. I stopped after Silence of the Lambs because I was like, you know what? The story's done. We're good. Red Dragon was good, but those movies weren't so much about a man who's a monster. It was about a man who was so intelligent that he could justify being a monster.
What about Mason Veger?
No idea.
Oh yeah, that was the one with what's her name? I forgot her name.
What was she in?
The redhead. God, what was
Be
it?
more specific, because you're like, are we talking about like, there's only so many redhead, natural redhead?
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Oh.
Yeah, and the one with Mason Veger, which was the villain, and who had actually captured Hannibal, and because Hannibal had was responsible for his physical desecration, and I actually liked that movie. It didn't get the best reception, but I actually thought it was really good. But I don't know.
To each their own.
Yeah, I'm not Grimmhauser knows the specifics of the movies. I just have flashbacks of this and that, so I can't really. But
That's fair.
Yeah, but I recommend Antlers. I think that was a great movie. I thought it was a slow burn. I didn't really think it. I don't know, something about it wasn't. Everyone that's into this lore wanted to see more of the Wendigo, and you got to see a lot of it, but it's. It went more, I believe, into the psychology of how it infested and infiltrated one's thoughts and dreams and things like that.
It was interesting in that way, but the telltale sign of somebody in that movie becoming a Wendigo was puking up like a black substance. It was crazy.
Indeed. So, speaking of puking up a black substance,
Oh no.
your best friend called again.
Why, God?
And I don't even know what to say about what he's going to say because of his outburst last weekend. And
Can somebody please vote him off the show? Like, tell this guy. Tell him to vote him off the show.
well, I can't vote him off of this show.
No, but the viewers can't vote him off the show.
Well, and has he been like? Because according to what he has sent in his little messages, he's been previously corresponding with you already.
What?
He's creepy.
All right.
That's putting it lightly.
There we are. All right, go Ray, please. Hello.
Hey, Andreas, I can't believe you suckers fell for that little sympathy routine
Told you.
I pulled last week. Retards.
Rude.
Nadia, later that night, slid into my DMs, and
No, she didn't.
told me she was crying all
she didn't.
night. What a sad sack you two are. You fell for that one. And now because of your weakness, both of you, I'm placing both you, Grimmhauser and Andreas, on head duty.
What's
for
that?
The next 2 months.
Cleaning up the bathrooms.
You'll be on toilet duty
Cleaning
in
up the
below
bathrooms.
decks for the next 2 months.
Girls and boys.
Hey,
I can't.
Marianne, you want to come over tonight and do some head duty with the great Ray Casper?
No.
your name is Madeleine, not Marianne. He does this bit. He knows the names
No, he doesn't.
of all the women that come on. No, he does. I think he doesn't. He's just being an asshole.
I think he doesn't care about names or races or anything if it doesn't involve squash.
It doesn't go. You're right about that. Speaking of squash, I've never actually had a squash. What's a squash?
like zucchini?
Is that what it is?
That's one of them.
Can you somehow manufacture a hole in that? And
Is that related to pumpkins?
is it?
Yeah.
You can put a hole in anything if you're creative, but I'd rather not.
Why, is there something specific you'd like to say about Ray Casper and pumpkins?
You're a sick bastard, Ray.
Is it possible, like I said before, I think it was a whole setup just to get you and the other guys on the ship going?
No.
Okay, I
No,
believe you. I believe you.
I don't believe for a second it was anything but true. Pumpkins do not look like that after the fact. It's wrong.
After the fact, indeed. Speaking of after the fact, or after the fact of an English breakfast, this episode of the Erich Andreas Unexplained is brought to you by, you guessed it, Bush's Beans.
Bush's baked beans. What? Dreams in a can, people. Let me just tell you about this beautiful product. Many a time was I a hungry lad looking for sustenance. Bush's was there for me. Oh, God. They should call them Bush's Baked Dreams, I'm just saying.
Okay.
What about you, Madeleine? Have you partaken of the beans?
No.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Well, for those of us who have happy childhoods, happy manhoods, and or girlhoods, for Madeleine, I'm sorry.
So, relatively inexpensive wine tonight at Bush's Beans. As James Tiberius said, an explosive combination.
I'll tell you about Bush's Beans. You have Bush's Bean with some bourbon, and oh, look out, sonny. Oh, it comes blowing.
Yes.
Okay. So, conversational wrap-up section. Wendigo, final thoughts. Can either of us, or any of us rather, ever transform into a Wendigo as a result of our foul, drastic deeds?
On my end of things.
Have any of us been evil enough to actually do something in our past which might inflict us with this terrible
This curse.
terrible curse?
So am I gonna eat you? No, people, I'm not gonna eat you. You're nasty. It's not gonna happen. I will eat trees. I will eat bark. I will eat grubs. I will find whatever I must to not eat you bastards.
Well, that's the funniest thing about cannibalism, that it has been reported, and I think was it the Argentinian rugby team
What?
with the movie Alive and the book Alive, and that I
was thinking of the movie #Alive, but okay.
Well, what intense starvation will do to your mental makeup? How it will just mess with you. Like, if you are hungry enough, you would not believe the things that you would ingest to survive. Yeah.
Well, let me just say, with that in mind, if I am not in a winter setting where there is nothing for me to hunt, or I just don't have the skills to hunt it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm still eating you guys. You guys are nasty, and I stick by that. I'll die first.
Okay. How about you? Can you imagine being pushed to the
That
point
desperate.
pushed to the point of cannibalism?
I can imagine. Even bears don't eat us.
That's a good point.
Well,
That's a
some of
good
them
point.
do, right?
Yeah, but they get sick, don't they?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a.
Look, Winnie the Pooh doesn't want you either. He don't want you. Clean your ass.
Yeah, well, isn't that a Red Fox? Remember Red Fox, that comedian Red Fox? He said something about you had to clean your ass. He had a whole bit on it about wash your ass and clean your
I never
ass.
thought about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Jordan Peterson who said to clean your room, but yeah. Yeah.
Jordan, clean your room, wash your ass.
The basics, people.
Yeah.
The basics.
All right, so Ray, what do you think about the Wendigo, or does it really even matter? Do you? What's he yelling?
He always
What,
yells.
Ray, what do you
Who
think?
cares what you say? You know, that's why.
Back at you, bro.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Thank you once again for tuning in to the Idiot Andres Flying Saucer Spaceship
Be nice.
Show starring traitorous Blake Grimmhauser and Idiot Andres and this new broad. Well, I'll tell you, you know, this new broad, Marianne, she's just as ditzy as those other two dingbats that you keep on bringing on Andres. When you gonna get yourself some good sweet meat that actually knows something? But anyway, it's okay. It's only her first time on the Ray Casper show. Anyway,
That's your show.
To the other Ray Casper show on the AM for some real entertainment by a real host. Anyway, once again, I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you hopefully next week on the next episode of the Erich Andreas Unexplained.
Par for the course.
What's he talking about?
That's the most sense he's ever made as I've known him, man.
What is he talking about?
That's the most sense he's ever made.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So
Eloquently said, sir.
yeah, unbelievable. I have since Madeleine, it is your first time on this silly little show. Thoughts on Ray Casper?
What do you feel?
Yeah. So he has so offended everybody, and even a few people, and Blake Grimmhauser's old dear friend Stanley Tennessee Cobb.
Mr. Cobb, yeah.
Yeah, that nobody wants him on the show anymore.
Well, he's creepy. I want to be like stuck in a room all by myself with him
That's fair.
because he's creepy.
Okay, but
You know, you say anymore. I never wanted him on this show. Ever. Ever. Never. Ever.
this is true. Grimmhauser actually has said several times. So, is Ray going to be on? Because
Replace me with Ray if you want to do that, man. You go right ahead. You see how you guys enjoy that.
so. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into the Erich Andreas Unexplained once again. We'd love to thank the extravagant filmologist Blake Grimmhauser and our new dear friend Madeleine M. And she actually has some very good commentary that will be coming up on the Skinwalker segment, because this does happen to be a specific topic she has an interest in. And she's actually the one that said, when I said, well, we're gonna do the Wendigo thing, and she goes, why not skinwalkers? I know all about the skinwalkers. And the Utah Ranch, the whole bit. But anyway, and for myself, thank you so much for tuning in once again. Please like and subscribe. Let's do an outro cheers if we could. Thank you so much, and there we are. Cheers.
Cheers to you, Buffalo Bob.
Exactly. What would I do?
It's bad luck if you don't drink.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's bad luck.
good call.
All right. Is that some Skinwalker thing I don't know about?
That is some Skinwalker shit. Drink your drink, motherfucker.
Exactly. So once again, the Erich Andreas Unexplained would like to give you the 2 thumbs up, if we could, and the peace out. Whatever the hell that means. She hasn't learned how to do that yet.